So, where eye gaze is basically activating the device by looking at the one they want and holding the gaze on it. Um, I have a lot of experience with grid pad accent, Tobii Dynavox, and then some experience with some of the other things. So, I'm interested to hear if you are using something else that I'm not talking about today. I'd love to hear about it. The reason why we put people on eye gaze is because vision is the relative strength. And I say that every time because it doesn't mean that their vision is perfect. It doesn't mean that it's even good. It just means that it's better than their direct select options, meaning touching a picture with a finger. And switch access can be laborious. So that's when we're using eye gaze. But the factors affecting eye gaze is calibration, accuracy, lighting, environment, positioning, and fatigue. And so we're going to just talk about those factors in a minute. One thing you can do right off the bat where you don't have the budget for an eye gaze device, but you think you have an eye gaze communicator, is to set up some kind of low tech board where they're looking at the one they want. And that can be done on a budget. I prefer the black background boards because I think the clear ones allow for a lot of background visual clutter, but there's lots of options here. I'm going to show you this little video because when I have people say that eye gaze is too hard, I'd like to show that this 4-year-old was doing eye gaze with her 4-year-old twin.
This one you look better. This, this
Which one's that one?
one?
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Anyways, I just have to say that because people think eye gaze is really hard, and I want to show that it's really not that hard. Okay, I'm being snarky now.
That's a great video.
So they are doing it with their eyes, and it's super amazing and magical, and there's a lot to consider. So when I am doing, this is a Tobii, and sometimes when I'm starting off with really young on a Tobii, I will use supported navigation because I'm not expecting them to do a lot of navigating with their eyes, and I'm supporting them. So let me show you what my videos sort of look like when I'm training.
So here is his device, and the top button is going to show his eyes. You want the arrow to be right at the green, so you know that you are not too close, which is when the arrow is high, or too far away, which when the arrow drops too low. You can turn off the eyes. You can pause the eyes at any time with that pause button, which is the second one here. And that's how you can work on it without activating with your own eyes. When you go into here, you're going to have I want to eat, drink, play, sing.
To see.
These are kind of errorless pages. He picks it, he gets it. When he picks Twinkle, Twinkle,
Twinkle, twinkle,
I
little
usually pause the eyes, sing the song so he can look at it without activating something else. We also have Spanish pages now that match the English side.
I feel.
And there's a forward page that you might like that moves into more and all done.
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Come here and
Here,
go away.
That's a fun game.
Go and stop.
Go and stop.
Turn.
And my turn, your turn. So just remember that in the first 6 months or so, we're training him that he is using his eyes and not just watching. So feel free to use these games as warm-ups. We usually do 2 to 5 minutes of warm-ups, and we'll do 10 to 15 minutes of eye gaze, and then you'll need to do something else to rest his eyes. So you don't want to do a whole session with him in front of the device. You'll want to have him maybe do I want to play balloon, and then you might bat that balloon in the distance or bring it close to his face so his eyes can not be fixated on one particular distance.
I'm not going to show the whole video, but so that's just sometimes when I'm setting up someone on an eye gaze, I will take that kind of video, try to keep it under 2 minutes, and text it to people so that they kind of get a sense of the layout of the eye gaze, of what we are looking for. That again, this is a super simple eye gaze setup. I do a similar video here for the accent. I don't think I'll show.
So this is the accent. We're on 36 Unidad, which is why it's all in Spanish here. And if I hit English, it will populate the English side here. And you can go into the toolbox user menu and switch user to any kind of user that you might want. And that language system is really more than we're going to get into today for the purposes of eye gaze, but you have options. So what we're going to do is show you that there's a box right here that shows when I turn it on, it's green, and you will see my eyes in that box, and you will see a number. And so that is right there. And that says that the number is 17. And as I pull away, the number gets larger. So you want that number to be between 18 and 22. And you want those edge dots to be centered. That's kind of how you're always knowing where the eyes are.
So that's kind of I'm making sure that people understand. My website, technically speaking, AAC, has a whole bunch of training videos, and it has the accent, it has Toby, it has grid pad and eye gaze and things like that on there. So feel free to take a look at that. What we want to do is make sure that we're setting up for customizing. So for their visual attention, I like the clock that lets them know how long they have to hold their gaze. I think in the accent, you can only do a shrinking dot. They don't have the clock. And then you can have a pointer in the accent, but you can also, in the grid pad, you can have a dot. So you can see where their eyes are, even if they're not hovering over a particular button. And so you can see where their eyes are. That's one thing. That's almost like a cursor. And then you can see where what they're fixating on and the button that they're going to activate with the feedback time, the dwell time. So there's kind of two indicators about where their eyes are on the screen. So, but the biggest thing with eye gaze is positioning. So we have to position them where you are promoting head stability. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is that everyone wants their head and face to be at midline, but that's not really where they are at rest. And so if we mount it at midline, we are taxing probably a core system of some kind, and we are not going to get great participation long term because they're going to be too focused on trying to position their bodies. So we do want something that's promoting head stability, and then that usually is fostering the learning level of alertness. So if we're not promoting head stability because they're in a reclined position and they're going to snooze on you, so you're going to kind of play around with where you want it to be positioned so that they are at rest where they are, but they're alert. So we can work on seating and positioning. We can work on coming to midline. We can work on other things, but not at the same time as we're teaching the device. So I mentioned this earlier, but this is critical. The distance is between 18 and 22 inches from their eyes. The reason why this is critical is because you might go to an eval and they say that they're farsighted or that they're nearsighted, and what we still don't know is, okay, but what does that mean for them? Does that mean that they can't see anything beyond 6 inches? Because if that's the case, eye gaze is not going to be their choice, because if you bring that device 6 inches, it's going to like fishbowl almost the cameras. And so it'll go off, but it won't be accurate. And if it's too far away, then same deal. So you have to decide what size of the buttons do they have to be seen at that distance. And that's what helps you with the grid size initially. But what I mentioned with the balloon, and I knew I was going to get into it further, is that it's like weightlifting. So the center guy is holding the hands, right? And that's like when you and I are looking at a screen. By the way, if you were to do 18 to 22 inches, it's about the length of your hand, your arm. And if you did that right now to your computer, I bet you're about an arm's length away from your monitor. So that's one of the reasons why it's 18 to 22 inches is because that's how we naturally set up ourselves in front of screens. But it's an organ and a muscle. And so when we're asked to look at a screen for long periods of time, we either look off in the distance or even look down at our hands, which is closer. So we're bringing them close or bringing them farther away so that we have that ocular range of motion. Sometimes what I do is if like they pick a balloon, I'll blow up a balloon close to their face so they have to kind of look at it. And then I let it go and they watch it go into the distance. And I get that ocular range of motion before they come back and make another choice without quiver, like a muscle will do when it's tired. So near and far is something that you want to be presenting stimuli closer to them or farther away than that 18 inches. So a lot of people will have them choose a book and then they present the book right next to the device, which is the same 18 to 22 inches, and it's a really hard gaze to hold. So if they pick a book, if it's a large book, one of those big ones from preschool, you can do it farther away. If it's a smaller book, bring it closer to their face so that you're not taxing that distance thing. I use a magic wand to highlight where they could look instead of pointing with my finger. There's a couple reasons why I do this. One is pointing with my finger makes those kids that can reach try to reach because I'm modeling touching and they kind of want to reach. And also they usually do want to kind of look through that hole. So just know that when you're pointing at the screen, like look here, often your arm is inadvertently covering a camera at the bottom or the top. And so a magic wand allows you to come at it from the side without blocking an upper or a lower camera and still kind of guiding where they could go. This is my $1 million idea it's a pack of 100 for at the dollar store. So the millionaire thing is still a ways away. Let me show you how I set up Houston on his grid pad.
There's your eyes. Oh, you got the star. You did. I hear you. Oh my goodness. You're making all those stars go now. Yep. Oh, you got the star again. You're so smart. That's like a little slinky almost that you're making go on there now. You're killing it. You're doing it. You got him. Very forward. Good job. You're getting bottles all over that screen. Yes. So he kind of looks off to the side because he's using peripheral vision, and then he comes back and hits it. And I'll show you in a minute a different video he did. Well, let me show you. We could do. I want to watch.
To watch something.
These are some of your shows. Do you like any of those shows? Tell me where you're comfortable. You want to come over here again? So at this time of day when he's tired after school and stuff like that, you might chase him a little bit where he's fun, where you're finding where he's resting comfortably. And I can go home and see his face. Oh, a little bit close. There we go.
I want to watch something.
Do you want to
To
see
do
the?
something.
Oh, you want to do something? You went back. That was you. What do you want to do? Yeah. I see you looking all around. You see those?
So those reds are him looking. The reds are him looking, but he's not holding the gaze long enough, so he's still exploring this page. You went to, I want to do something. What do you want to do? What do you want to do, Houston?
Art.
Art. Mom said that you like to do drawing. Okay, a couple things about this video. The warm up was look to learn. And that is something that allows me as an evaluator to see, can he visually access all areas of a screen without the demands of language? So we're just isolating the access of eye gaze without him having to decipher pictures. And I am not telling him to hit the star. I'm letting him experience that his eyes are controlling the screen and not watching it. And then then I do a little warm up. Then I go to the language and I let him experience the language that he picks. Notice I'm not saying find this, find that. I'm letting him explore and experience language. So I'm flying through this because if I let it start. Okay, I do want to show you this. This is my girl at 1 years old, and she was on an accent with 4 buttons. Was a mommy, the baby, and Kira was her name. Okay. So this is a girl who, in birth 3, qualified as deaf-blind because she has severe vision and hearing impairment. So they're doing sign, they're doing lots of things, but she does have enough vision for the eye gaze. And this was her a few months later on the 28 grid Unity.
One. Ray. Big bird.
Yay! Look at you, big bird. There you go. So even though you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited that she can see and she can make a choice from a field of 4, we got to be careful not to stay there. As vision improves, as maturity improves, as motor plan, even ocular motor plans are being set, they can handle more and more.